Ooh, it's a rainy day.
It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And if I say it's cold, you know it's cold.
What happened
I don't know. Let's think of There's chicken and ribs in
We
there.
have to go to the store.
There's chicken and ribs in there. Yeah, let's do chicken and french fries.
Mm-hmm.
Jamel, what are you doing?
Bye bye. He downstairs.
He downstairs.
You coming up here with us? Come on.
You coming up?
Come on. Come on, Papa.
You was probably drinking water from eating peanut butter.
Mm-hmm. You had peanut butter this morning, and you didn't share it with me. Papa, you had peanut butter
Peanut butter crackers.
and crackers, and you didn't share. Look at you licking your chops. Where's mine? See, that's what I say when I be having my stuff and you be all up in my face. You don't never share your little cereal with me. A mess.
I can't. I'm mad you called this cereal.
That's what his dog food is. I call it cereal, child. No, I don't want that one.
Okay, bye. You want to get down? Go. But you're not going to sit on my lap the whole time.
He up to something. He is up to something.
You know that, and I know that.
Jomel, don't write a check. Good morning, everybody. Y'all come on in here. Come on in. Come on in. We're not on Facebook this
Okay.
morning. Come on in, y'all. Here we go. Woo, y'all come on in. Come on in.
Thank you for sharing this out, Monica.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing it out. Oh, I gotta see. Send my
Hey, Gabriel. Gabrielle, I'm sorry. Monica, Shar, Monte. Or should I call you Monday? Hey, Bacon with Charlotte. Ooh, I want muffin, Charlotte.
Oh, you saw one of her videos?
Mm-hmm. Right, Monica. Where's my muffin? Come on, everybody, because this conversation is going to be real deep. It's going to be real. Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot. It's this conversation is going to be a whole lot about this Netflix show.
Check your. I'm sorry, Monica and Blogs. Check your Instagram.
If you haven't seen it, um, if you watch it, you probably gonna be triggered
Yes.
by it,
Ooh.
like everybody else was.
Oh my God, this movie was something else.
It was. It was a lot. It was a whole lot.
I had to put my crown on y'all because my hair. Listen, I ain't have no money to get my hair done this month, so I have to wear my crown. Um, but
This conversation, and I'm ready for some of y'all to come for me in the comments for my views of this movie.
Y'all know Joseph got something to say, child.
Because my views are not that of most people that saw this movie. So come on in, have a seat, get your coffee, get your juice. It's afternoon, so you're probably not drinking coffee right now. But, get your water, get your juice, get your soda, get your tea, whatever you need. Because this is going to be a deep conversation, especially if you're a mother with a daughter.
No, you're going to need a glass of wine, child. No matter of fact, you're going to need a couple of shots. Get you some Southern
tequila
Comfort.
And gin.
Or some tequila, some gin, or something, because this movie blew my mind. But before we start, do we have any announcements? Y'all please vote for Jomel. First of all, we appreciate you guys voting for Jomel. Those that have voted for him, we really appreciate it. He is still in third place for America's favorite pet, but we still need your support. We need more support from you guys. Jomel is in this contest to win the title of America's favorite pet, and the prize, the grand prize, is $5,000.
I put the link in the chat.
We really want to win this competition,
and he belongs on the cover of Dogs the magazine.
Yes. So if you would please just go over and just support Jomel by voting for him, we would greatly appreciate it. With that being said, let's get into this. You ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
Okay. There is a controversial movie on Netflix called Cuties. This movie is controversial because it consists of these 4 ladies right here in the background. I tried
really
to get it's really 5 girls, 5 little young girls. They're between the ages of 11 and 13.
No, they were 11. They all was 11.
All of them were 11.
They were lying, remember?
They wanted to dance. They just wanted to dance, from what I saw. However, it wasn't them wanting to dance that was the issue. It was the way in which they wanted to dance and the way in which this movie projected young ladies dancing together. And some of the things that young ladies go through when they hit puberty, or when they start becoming interested in little boys. And this movie touched on so many different things. I'm not a father, but as an uncle of a host of nieces, I have 6 nieces. I could not help but to reflect back on my nieces who are now grown now. I could not help but to reflect back on their childhoods, where my sister, who was a mother of 10, was very involved with her daughters. And basically, her daughters weathered through, most of them, not becoming young mothers, and not being a product of the hood or the streets. But I couldn't help but to remember also and reflect back also on some of the young ladies that I saw in my sister's neighborhood, which was the hood, that dressed like these little girls at this age, that acted like these little girls at this age. This movie is a wake-up call to mothers and to fathers.
Well, I watched the movie, and in the beginning, I'm like, okay, why are people having a fit about this movie? I didn't understand. I was like, okay, what are these little girls doing that most little girls now don't do? They were on their phones. They were following little boys. Most girls,
they were posting.
They were posting on the
videos.
internet. of them dancing provocatively.
Come on.
I think where the problem comes in for most people is because when I saw the dancing, I'm like, okay, well, what's the difference in what the dancing dolls do versus what they were doing in the movie? And I think it was because they were dancing like strippers versus the dancing dolls dancing like they were in a competition.
Right, right.
I think that's the difference. They were over sexualizing.
It was very provocative.
It was like they watched, and they didn't show this in the movie. It's very figure it out on your own, but they had to watch videos of like a WAP video or um, a video of a grown woman that are making videos where they are dancing like strippers, and they wanted to do that. I think that is a lot of young girls nowadays because these are the images that they see. And we all know when we were young, we couldn't wait to grow up so we could do the things that adults did.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is what they see and this is what is being put to them, then this is how they're going to act. I also think that if you really pay attention to the movie, only one of them parent was really present in their life. And she really wasn't even present because she had a whole lot going on in her own life that kept her busy, really away from her daughter, which had her daughter doing the things she should have did with her son. Really, the daughter was raising the son. If you really get into this movie, there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of things going on, other than the over sexualizing of the girls.
Yes, because I have a newfound,
There's a whole lot.
Respect for African women and the culture.
Hey, blog.
In the Muslim culture, the African women in the Muslim culture, I have a newfound respect for African women, period, point blank, where they have to accept that their husbands have taken on another wife and how they have to participate in that, as well as the daughters that have to accept the fact that they.
But if you know, but her mother wasn't. I mean, all these little girls, none of the parents were really present in their life. The other little girl said, "I don't see my mother and father no more."
Mm-hmm.
So she was basically raising herself. So there's a whole nother issue going on with this movie beyond just what these little girls was doing dancing wise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where y'all are gonna lose me, and I'm gonna lose people at. Here's where y'all gonna lose me at, and I'm gonna lose some of y'all. The reason why I don't find anything wrong with this movie is because it was made in France. A French person made it. Only in America is your body looked at as being something you should hide, as being overly sexualized, and only in America. The person that made it was French. You can go to France and watch their TV shows and see half naked people all day long on TV, right, or naked people all day long on TV, because nowhere but in America do we teach us, they don't teach people to hide their bodies. Right. They teach their people that their bodies are works of art. You can tell that by all the art that Michelangelo and the rest of them made all around the world. It was all naked people. Only in America do we, from childhood, are taught to hide our bodies, make sure we're covered up, make sure you don't expose yourself, and things of that nature. I think this movie was a reality check for a lot of people that aren't present in their daughters' lives and realize that this is what their daughters could be doing. It was a little. I was taken back when she took the picture of her little cuckoo and posted it on the internet. But at the same time, this is what little girls are doing nowadays. Yeah. Nothing that happened in this movie is not some things that are not going on right now. And I think it upset people because people now have to look and realize that little girls are doing this. Because, see, it's easy to blame little boys. It's easy to blame little boys and say little boys are dragging little girls into this. And then when you realize a lot of times it's the little girls dragging the little boys into things, then it becomes a problem because, oh, girls can't possibly be doing that. It's the boys. It's the boys. The boys that are overly sex ones. The boys are the ones that's thinking about sex all the time. It's the boys. And I try to tell people all the time, it's not always the boys.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, a girl coerced the boy into doing what she wanted him to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
look at the Bible, honey. Women have been coercing men for years into doing what they wanted them to do. And I'm not saying little boys are innocent because they're not. But little girls will sit and tease little boys and take pictures and send them to them. And then when the little boy do it, he's the one that gets in trouble because he forced her, he coerced her, and it's a girl, so he automatically gets in trouble. And I think it just, for me, because this would have never been made if an American person made it.
Yeah,
this
movie
would have never been
understand
made.
is that
if an
this is
American
Western.
person
This
did
is not Western culture. We
A
live in
French
the
person
Western
made it.
world. So because we live in the Western world, the cultures that we see and in the outside world, like in Africa and in Egypt and places like that, in India and things like that, are far-fetched for us.
They don't view sexuality in the body like we do.
Right,
And
right.
so when they are so free to just project it, like even the woman that made the movie, because it was shown, I think, at Sundance or one of them independent movie things first, she said she actually saw little girls on stage dancing like that. And it intrigued her, and she made a movie about it because it intrigued her.
Yeah.
I think by Americans seeing this, that's why everybody wants Netflix canceled.
Yeah, because they find it disgusting.
But I don't think that people in Europe and people in Paris and people across the globe have a problem with this movie because they don't view sexuality the way Americans do.
Right.
They just don't. I mean, we are always taught to hide our bodies, that our body is not a masterpiece, but all over everywhere else is the total opposite, that your body is a masterpiece. Yes, it was provocative. Yes, it was showing little girls being in provocative ways and doing provocative things. Again, I was taken back when she took the picture of her little cuckoo. But at the same time, this is what some little girls are doing now.
Right. And remember when she was in the laser tag place, how she tried to entice the young man?
And the men,
and then she lied.
Little girls do that.
Then she lied and she said that the man tried to touch her. You know?
Because when they get rejected, because they just feel they want to be, it's a whole lot of things. If they don't feel loved, they run to men because a man, to them, sex is love. Remember, they was watching porno.
Yeah. They
were watching porno. And she saw her brother's little thing because she said, my brothers ain't that big. So they're seeing all this sexuality around them, and you don't expect them to be sexual. Right. Like, it just... I get why people are upset behind the movie.
Yeah, I do too.
I get it. I get it 100%.
Yes. Because if I was a mother, I would be upset by the movie too.
But
at the same time, you have to understand that this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call. All you mothers out there need to watch this movie because this is a wake-up call to mothers and fathers. This is the reason why we need fathers. We need fathers in the home that are fathering their daughters. We need mothers in the home that are mothering their daughters and paying very close attention, especially in this day and age, paying very close attention to what their daughters are seeing, what they are enduring. You know, just the way when this little girl started her period came on. She didn't even realize it. Her mother walks in the room and says, "You're a woman now," and closes the door.
Because the grandmother, I think, showed her what to do.
Right. But the grandmother explained to her about when she realized... But the grandmother
told her she wanted her to get married the way she
Exactly. Did. She said her grandmother said she was married at 13 years old. You know? So... And that's just, let's take away the Muslim culture. Let's take the...
I think at the end, the mother realized that her daughter is not going to be like her.
Right.
because that's why she said leave her alone.
Right, leave her alone.
Because I think a part of the mother was happy that the daughter didn't want to be like her.
Right.
Because she knew her daughter wouldn't endure the things that she endured.
Right.
So, yeah, it becomes a culture shock to you that your daughter is not, but at the same time, it's still a culture shock because they was calling her a whore and saw the way she was dressing, and it was shocking them that she was dressing that way.
Blogs, where are you? Blogs.
It's a whole lot.
Blogs, where are you? We need you back here. But this is a wake-up call to American women and this is something that you really need to understand and take very, very seriously. Your daughters your daughters need your support. Your daughters need your love. They need to know that they are loved. They need to know that their bodies are not a tool. Their bodies are not something that's going to get them
what they want
in life. They need to know that they're more than just that, and you need to encourage that every single day.
But then at the same token, when she did the little cuckoo shot, the other girls didn't want nothing to do with her.
Right.
Because that lets you know that they knew that it was wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
But they only would go to a certain extent.
Blogs, where are you?
They would only go, the other girls would only go but so far. And the one behind me in the picture, she went to the extreme because she just wanted to be down with them. Where the rest of them would never go to that extreme because they already knew what that would bring them and they didn't want to be seen that way. She went to the extreme and then they shut her out. It was like, we don't want no parts of you. We don't want to be your friend. You're one of those kind of girls. And she didn't understand. She didn't understand. Like, she thought she was doing what they wanted to do, but they wasn't trying to go that far. They was only trying to play in the water, wade their feet in the water. They wasn't trying to jump all the way in. And she jumped all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
Head first.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any women in the chat? I need to hear from some women, some mothers that are in the chat. I want to hear what you think of what we've said thus far. I really do. I want to hear what you think of what we said thus far. You mothers out there, and anybody that has an opinion about this movie or about anything that we've said so far, because I think that we really need to have an adult conversation about this. So I have placed the link in the chat for anybody to come and join in. Blogs and Fiction was here, and she was going to say something. I don't know what happened, but...
hey, Ashley.
You know, Joseph, as I was talking to some friends this morning, I was saying how, you know, as a mother, it's hard to raise one daughter. Imagine having 2 or 3.
Right, because the younger one are going to try to follow the older one.
Right. Imagine having 3 daughters and having to, you know, make sure that you keep an eye on each and every individual one of them and making sure that they do the things that you feel they should be doing, or they have the structure, you know, for what we for mothers, for what mothers consider the right way to raise a daughter. You know, going to school, doing good in school, and just having some type of activity that doesn't consist of, you know, all these videos that we got out now, you know, because let's be real. WAP and all these videos, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and all these rappers and stuff like this is for grown-ups. This is like for grown-ups, y'all. You know, I know Nicki Minaj calls her fans the Barbs and all that stuff, but ain't no young girl at 11 years old need to be no Barb. You know what I'm saying? No young girl ain't got no business listening to Lil' Kim.
But they do.
But they do. No young girl ain't got no business watching the WAP video or even knowing what that means.
But they do.
But they do. What are we as parents? Well, I'm not a parent. But what do parents do to continue the structure that they want their children to follow. What do? How do they deal with that? How do you as a parent deal with one day you walk in the house and your daughter is dressed like this? How do you handle that?
But these are the clothes they have for little girls in the store.
Exactly.
It's not, you can't, I mean, what are you going to make clothes for your daughter? Are you, like, I've seen it. Like, the only thing, like my sister, my niece, I got her a phone. Oh my God, I got her phone probably when she was way too young. And when as she got older, my sister told her, "You can put a code on it all you want, but the minute I can't unlock the phone, we got a problem." And my sister will take her phone and go right through it and could care less how she feel and what she think, because she want to know. She want to know what she's sending, what she receiving, and the messages that they talking about. Mm-hmm. She has found nothing majorly wrong in the phone. But I used to live there, so my sister gets all frazzled. Oh my God, Joe, and I'm like, okay, well, explain to her why that's not cute, and keep it moving. Like, what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. Like, this ain't 1985.
But you know what? I had a friend that had a daughter, and she looked at her phone, and all she saw was pornography. And her daughter told her daughter had convinced her that these were viruses that somebody was sending, and her mother believed that.
Because people don't want to. Let me tell you something. Again, this movie is
Monica, can you come on in here, sweetheart?
This movie is a reality for a lot of women with daughters that are letting them daughters raise themselves. Because not one of these girls in this movie had a mother that was paying her attention.
Right.
Not one of them.
Right.
Except the other girl. But all her mother did was bring her cookies and juice when the girls was at the house. And she didn't even know they were on the computer with a boy.
Right.
So what I'm saying, like, they don't.
Hey, Monica.
Hey.
How you doing? Y'all say hello to Monica of MJ&J family. First, let's congratulate Monica on her monetization. Yay for Monica.
Thank you. Let me turn this thing on. I change the thing. We'll change.
Let us know when you're ready, because we have some questions that we really want to ask you.
Okay.
Into some things.
I can't change the background. But okay,
there you go. How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all?
Oh, we're doing okay. We just got finished watching this movie, and of course, Monica hasn't watched the movie yet.
Oh no, I haven't.
But I'm sure when you watch this movie, it's going to really touch you. It's going to touch your heartstrings. And the reason why I want to bring you in is because you are a mother of a 5-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's 4.
I'm sorry, 4-year-old daughter. But with that being said, it's I don't even have a child. I mean, just from seeing you raise your daughter and some of the things that she says to you, like, "Mommy, I want to be just like you." Mm-hmm. "Mommy, I love you. Mommy, your hair is beautiful. Mommy, you're beautiful. Mommy, you a queen. I want to be just like you." It's so heartfelt for me. It's so endearing for me. But at the same time, I have to also say this, that as a mother, I know that sometimes it goes through your head, what is going to happen when my daughter becomes 12 years old? What is going to happen when my daughter goes through puberty? How am I going to handle that? How am I going to structure that and parent that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you first, I feel like I want. Hold on, let me cut this down. First you want. I feel like I should be like more of a guided light through the process of stage. I was one of those girls that developed early, and I noticed that my little girl was fine. So it's kind of hard to watch a little girl have little ninnies already, and you know that you was like that as well, and you like, how can I tell her, even though you have the development, that doesn't mean that you should allow or show it in a derogatory way.
Right.
See, that was
And,
part of the movie too.
huh?
That was part of the movie too.
And see, I'm so scared because I know she's gonna be developing early, and sometimes older children may think she's going to be, you know, and they're gonna think it's okay to touch her. And I have to, I want to instill in her, I already instilled in her. No, that's a no. And I want her to know that your body is a temple. You don't disrespect your temple.
Right.
You don't have to show your body to, I guess, for someone to like you,
Right.
or to feel like you have to fit in.
But what about this backdrop? Okay, you see this backdrop, right? Can you imagine, or would you ever allow your daughter to dress like this? Because what Joseph and I were saying is that these are the clothes that are being sold in the stores.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm like this out in public. No. But when we're at home in our own sanctuary, yes. Judge me if you like. But
no,
out in public,
there's no judgment here. It's no.
Oh
judgment
no. I'm just saying, people can judge whatever decisions you make as a mother, but I look at it as though, yes, you're supposed to go along with the what's in style, but you can carry yourself in a way as well, right? Yes, you can look like it, but see, my little girl's on the heavier side.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll, I'm gonna let her know, you have to cover up, and you're going to be heavier than most. You're going to may have more breasts than most, but you don't have to show that.
Right.
It's yes. I understand what you're saying, that sex is more. Sex is more at the forefront now. Everything is being sexualized.
Right.
And you don't want to introduce your children to sex early.
Right.
But it's going to be a conversation. I know for sure it's going to be a conversation.
Right.
It's going to be a conversation, and you have to be prepared in your mind on how you want to address it.
But
me myself being a single mother, like, go ahead.
Let me ask you, Monica, because like my sister had that problem. She wasn't ready to talk to my niece about sex, but her little girls that she hung out with, they were educating her on things that she would come home and ask my sister, "Mommy, what's this? What's this?" So now it forced her to have a conversation that she didn't want to have, because now she's excuse me, I'm sorry. Now she's questioning her about things that you can't just brush off and say, "Oh, don't ask me that," because you want to give them the right information, because you already know that the girls her age is giving her the wrong information or based on what they're hearing. So now it's forcing you to have a conversation that you really don't want to have sooner than you have to have it. And it's because of the friends. And it's like, where did the friends get this information from? Where did, because I have a friend and they found something similar to what Tramel said. They found out their daughter was watching all this porn on the phone. And they found the phone and I don't know, because the daughter accidentally left the phone on the table with the porn on it. And the mother just happened to pick up the phone and see this whole little sex scene playing out. So now she's like, okay, and she's looking through the phone and all she's seeing is dick pics and all this other stuff that her daughter's saving, and her daughter was only like 12.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, so now what do? You have to have this conversation now because your daughter's finding all this stuff on the internet because, again, when we were kids, we had to find tapes in the house.
Right.
And if we found a tape, it was, ooh, hurry up, and then you had to rewind it back to where it was when you started it because then somebody would know that you was watching it. But see, now it's too easy to pick this up and just go wherever you want to go. And as a parent, if you never check this or check the iPad or check the computer, you don't know what they watching and looking at.
Some of these kids know how to erase the whole history of what they know how to do all of it,
Yeah, that's why you have to be vigilant.
And see, my fear is, as an uncle, that young ladies are being exploited sexually, and in this country, and unfortunately, it's as a result of a lot of young girls raising themselves
and being raised by young girls.
And being raised by young girls. But let me before we go on, let me just read some of the comments in the comment section.
But wait, there was something else I wanted to say before you read the comment.
Go ahead, Joe.
It's what like Tramel said, like Jayla. And I've heard us, Mommy, you so pretty. Mommy, I want to be just like you. But guess what? Monica ain't walking around half naked. Monica ain't walking around twerking to every song she sings.
Right.
But when you have that mother that is walking around half naked, that is twerking to every song she sings, and her daughter is saying, "I'm gonna emulate you," because that's what Jayla is basically saying. I'm gonna be just like you.
Right.
Monica's image at that moment is shaping Jayla into the woman that she's gonna be.
Right.
And a lot of women don't realize that. And
a lot of women think it's cute that their daughters are twerking. They think
when they
cute.
get dressed to go out, they half naked because you giving your daughter that image of, because they're looking at you going, oh my God, my mother's so pretty. Oh my God, my mother's so beautiful. And they want to be that. And at 11 years old, they want to be that.
Yes.
And that's the part a lot of women miss out on. Yes, you can be sexy. Yes, you can be beautiful. Yeah, my mother was, but she was never half naked. She was always dressed appropriately and looking just as beautiful as she wanted to be. I tell her to show a little cleavage.
I am the one trying to get her to dress
a little sexier, or tell my sister, girl, get something tight, put something tight on, and things like that. But it's women don't realize your daughter, and it's for everybody across the board. As much as we say we're not going to be our parents when we grow up, that's exactly who we become. You parent just
right.
Like
so you right, Joe, and that's why you have to be that example.
Yes.
Right. Then you wonder why your kid is getting pregnant at 12 and 13
Thanks, Jazzy.
years old. What what were you showing to them when they were very observant, like my 4-year-old? My 4-year-old is very observant. And I do. Hold on. All right, I'm still echo.
We don't hear it if you do have it.
Okay. Y'all give me a moment. Y'all know.
And
listen, let me read these comments in the comments.
Go ahead, baby.
I think it's important that we let people in the comment section say what they need to say. Ashley said, I think the movie, Ashley Dawson, she says, I think that the movie is child pornography and they are exploiting children. I definitely am canceling my Netflix account. Gabrielle Johnson says, you're on point. Everything is now sexualized. Therefore, with the lack of guidance, this is what they are emulating because it's considered the norm. My point exactly. My point exactly is that, you know, the only difference between what's going on in this movie right now, this movie right here, the only difference between this movie and the day and age that I grew up in is that we didn't have social media.
True.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have any of the. But these girls were doing this stuff. My sisters were doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? The girls that lived in my neighborhood, they were doing this stuff. You know, but the only difference is we didn't have no social media.
True.
You remember girls used to do steps? Mm-hmm. You remember girls used to have dance groups and they used to be dancing provocatively and you know, just doing all kinds of things.
See, the dancing didn't do nothing for me with the movie, because my thing is, if you sit and watch the Dancing Dolls, what these girls did is basically almost the same thing. Yeah. There's no difference in what Diana is teaching them versus what these girls did in this movie, except that they have an adult present to kind of keep the sexual undertones at a
low level.
At a no. But at the same time, with the Dancing Dolls bucking the way they buck, what was the difference in them twerking? There was no difference.
The only difference was the illusion
of the movie.
It was the illusion of what they were doing, the provocative illusion of what they were doing in their dance move, like they were taking their fingers and going like this.
Right.
You know, and they were doing this.
And pulling their hair.
Yeah.
They were trying to seduce.
Yeah. It was very seductive. That's what it was. It was very seductive versus what Diane of the Dancing Dolls teaches her girls. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was a small difference. But it made a big impact. It really did. It made a big impact because as a parent, even in the movie, some of the parents were covering their daughter's eyes like this, and daughters were saying, "Mommy, I want to see." You know, and even in this picture right here, these girls look innocent. They look like they just dancing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It doesn't. I mean, to me, this is not really too bad. I mean, growing up, my sister wore shirts like this. They call them back outs. Remember, you tie them behind your neck like this and you tie them right here. They call them a back out. Some of these girls had on these little midriff. Is that what they call this? A midriff when the belly is showing? Yeah. This was innocent when I was growing up. This was if a young girl was dressed like this, had a shirt on like this, in my day and age, it was innocent.
Again,
but we lived in an innocent time.
But I don't think that it was the way they were dressed, because the way they were dressed are what every little girl wears now. Right. They didn't wear anything that I haven't seen little girls walking down the street in now with their parents. Right. So it ain't like the parents don't know. The parents put them in the clothes that look like that.
Right, but you and I have both seen all of y'all, you Monica included, have seen on Facebook and on YouTube little girls twerking and carrying on.
And the parents be the one videotaping.
The parents be the one videotaping. The thing is true. I even saw a video where a girl was twerking and had her little butt on the little boy. And they videotaped.
Oh, I seen that one too. That's what I ain't gonna lie.
You understand what I'm saying? But this is the culture that not me, but young girls that are too young to have children are creating. This is the culture that they are creating because they're still young girls. They still babies.
Babies raising babies.
Babies raising babies. What do you get?
But a lot of times, even when you're doing the right thing with your daughter, you can't stop her from finding out from other girls that she's with in school
Just like how you said Tracy's daughter did.
Right. You can't. And luckily for Tracy, my niece will come home and say, "Mom, listen, I want to ask you a question." Like she came home and asked my she was what 12, and asked my sister, "Mommy, what's pansexual?" My sister was like, "Who what?" She called me. She said, "Joe, what's pansexual?" I said, "Oh, that's a new term, girl. I gotta Google it. I don't. People just coming up with things." I said, "Who asked you about a pansexual?" She said, "Deja told me one of her friends is a pansexual." I was like, "But they 12. How she know she a pansexual?"
But that's the
so
culture.
I had to look it up because I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up and then call my sister back and say, "Oh, this is what pansexual is." And my sister said, "Well, how did she know at 12 that's what she is?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, because it sounds like to me that she ain't getting no love at home and she just want love from a man or a woman, because that's what pansexual is. It's different than bisexuality because it's more about who loves them as opposed to who's having sex with them."
Wow,
But
I
I'm
didn't
like,
know that.
Hold on, y'all.
Yeah.
I got to read this comment from one of the somebody in the chat named CW says you would not imagine how tough it is to fight off these predators. It's like society have them brainwashed, no matter the values.
keep going. There's more. I feel like I was a mother until society stepped in. Your values become vague when the powers that be have more influence.
Wow.
And it goes back to what I say. What I say is that this is the culture that young girls that are too young to have children, some of them, are creating. They're creating this culture where it's okay for their daughters to watch the WAP video, where it's okay for their daughters to wear these little short skirts. And it's nothing to, let me just say this about the clothes. Let me just say this about the clothes. It's nothing wrong with these little young ladies wearing the clothes that they wear. It's like just like what CW said. It's the culture. Look at what we talk, how we talk about R. Kelly, right? We talk about how wrong R. Kelly is, but I can go back to I can go to the hood right now and tell you how many girls can walk out of a grocery store and one of these older men are trying to hit on her.
True. She think it's cute.
You know, she's 13 years old, and a brother say, "Yo, mom, when you get 18, come see me." Or some of them even indulge in it, and it's nothing wrong with it, and their parents see nothing wrong with it. I know I can name 5 girls right now who have boyfriends, and they're under 18, and their boyfriends are in their 20s or their 30s, and some of them, one of them in their 50s. And their parents think that this is okay. And we sitting up here and we about to burn R. Kelly at the stake for following a culture that has been in black culture for years, that have been in the black community for years. This is stuff that has been happening in the black community for years. Not just the black community, in the white community. I can only talk about black people because I'm black. But in the black community, this is something that's always been. You understand, when it comes to young ladies, when young ladies start puberty, when young ladies start to develop breasts, when young ladies start to have their periods, there are young men out there right now, 18 and up, that are looking at them, not in a way that is, "Oh, she's cute. Oh, she's a cute little girl." It's like, "Damn, girl, let me get some of that. Let me see that." And these young girls are listening to it, and then they take this and turn it from something innocent into something provocative. Because I'm looking at this right now, and this looks like an innocent little girl wearing a cute little shirt, right?
Wearing
Right. This is a cute little shirt.
But that was a whole scene where they had the
this is a cute little shirt, right? But
that's not how they was.
But you got another brother that can see her walking down the street and think of this and look at this as nothing but sex. Nothing but sex.
That's so sad.
When in reality, this is a young girl. This is 11-year-old girl. 11. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why we have to
It's
be
happening
careful.
right now in our neighborhoods. These girls are being hit on by older men in our neighborhoods. Your daughter, Monica, when she becomes of age to walk to school maybe by herself, can fall victim to one of these predators.
I know.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we just
That's
have
what I'm
to
talking about.
pray for
What
our
do we do?
kids. And like, I'm so such a mama bear. I really am. That's why it's so hard for me to bring
But that's
somebody
like,
around because
but that's
you
like
never
with
know
the
what's
movie.
on a
I'm like,
person's mind.
with the movie. I'm like, didn't nobody question where they got this money to buy these clothes? Didn't nobody question where they got money to buy makeup? Where was they getting all this money from? Who gave them money? Where was they getting?
I
Like
got you.
these are questions. And I know somebody that it happened to in reverse. It was a boy, and he was 14 years old, and at the time his boyfriend was 30 years old. The mother didn't care because the boyfriend was doing her job, giving him money, taking care of him, buying him clothes, buying him a car, and the mother didn't give two damn. And it's like, okay, so because it's a boy, it makes it different. He's still a molester. He's 30 years old. Your son is 14.
Exactly.
Like, because he's doing your job, and now you can keep all your money for yourself and spend it the way you want. Because here, this grown ass man taking care of your son, doing your job. Then, when you find out your son getting beat up, you look at him and tell him, just take it like a man. He doing all this stuff for you. And when he's telling me this, I'm like, your mother did that. I said, do you know my mother would have kicked my natural ass if I would have even told her I had a boyfriend that was 30 years old and I was 14?
Well, sure. I was 17 years old, and my first boyfriend was 43.
Hell.
My father, but my father didn't know. My mother and father didn't know. Oh, I was traveling from New Jersey to New York, and spending the weekend with him, and doing that. Just
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
it happens with boys too, and people
Yeah,
don't realize
it happens with boys
it
too.
happens with boys too.
Yeah,
it's not just girls. When your son, and it happens with grown ass women.
And it happened.
Grown ass women will take your little son and give him a piece of something, and then you wondering why your son walking around with his ass on his neck like he gonna beat the world and he gonna tell you what to do. That's because your little girlfriend that's 45 years old and gave him a piece because she think he look cute.
Or it happens in the church. It happens in the church. I done heard a whole lot of stories about a whole lot of women in church messing with these young boys. You know, talking about I'm gonna turn him into a man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just one sided. It's
just
both sides,
but frowned more upon because it's a girl and a grown ass man. But it's no different when grown ass women take these little 14 and 13-year-old boys and do the same damn thing to them.
Yeah.
That's true.
I just say this, and I say this with so much concern and so much love and so much women, mothers, protect your daughters at all costs. Protect your daughters. I don't care if they get mad because you went in their room and then you look through all their stuff. Look through your daughter's stuff. Check their phones. Make sure you know what's going on with their phones. Make sure you know what they're watching on TV. If it's a parental control for it, put the parental control on it. Call the cable company and put the parental control on it, because these young ladies and these young men are getting into things that's far beyond what they understand.
Wow.
You have to protect your children. You have to. You got to protect them. It's only you. And you know what? Even if they don't turn out the way you want them to turn out, at least you tried. You made that effort.
Yeah.
To protect them.
And even one of my friends, she refused.
You don't owe your kids no. Listen, I'm old school. You don't owe your kids no damn explanation for protecting them. You owe no. I didn't question my mother and father. You know, I understand this culture where, you know, kids have cell phones, and sometimes these kids will kill you for taking their cell phones.
Well,
I've
no,
seen
my
kids call the
friend,
cops for somebody taking their cell
my
phone
friend
away.
didn't give her son a cell phone, and he asked to borrow hers because he was texting his father. He
Mhm.
took the phone, took a dick pic, and sent it to a little girl. Forgot to erase it, and when she went through the phone, she saw his dick in the phone,
Mhm.
and she had a natural born fit and tried to kill him.
Yeah, but
And then
imagine.
contacted the little girl. And because the little girl started sending him naked pictures of her back, and he 14, she 14, and she having a natural born fit.
Right, but imagine if another adult would have grabbed her phone and had that phone and reported her, she would have been in jail for child pornography.
Right.
Because it has happened. It has happened.
This is crazy.
So these are the things that we really need to start having a conversation about when it comes to our children. Our children are in danger. They are in danger. We can't even touch on the sex trafficking. We got to talk about what's going on in the home. What's going on in the school. What's going on when our children are not in our present. You know what I'm saying? We got to we got to have these conversations. Because this movie right here, let me tell you something. If you ain't watched this movie, you better go watch it. As a mother, you better go watch it.
It invokes feelings. It invokes a lot of things. But at the same time, it's an eye-opener because this is what a lot of little girls are doing. This is what a lot of little girls are doing. And yes, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that no, why I'm getting but I was thinking that I know that Netflix is getting a lot of flack for this movie. And a lot of people is speaking down on this. Like, I'm gonna go watch it myself and see how I feel about it. Because if these about little girls being sexualized, it is gonna come off as like negative.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what, Monica? Listen, we want you to watch this movie, and maybe we can come back. Perhaps we can come back and have another conversation about it. You know, I just wanted to get your input on being a single mother with a daughter and how that feels. You know,
it's scary.
Yeah, and I know it is. I mean, like I said, Joseph and I, as your friend, as you as our sister, we see, you know, how your daughter looks at you and she don't see no wrong. You know what I'm saying? But we also see the responsibility you take on as a mother. We see the structure that you carry as a mother. We see how you carry yourself as a mother, and bring all this positivity to your daughter's life. Bring, you know, all these beautiful things to your daughter's life. You know, like she loves her little Barbies, and you make sure that she, you know, she has all different kinds. You know what I'm saying? And you explain to her why this one looks this way and why this one is this way. And sometimes she be having a conversation with you and be trying to explain to you why the Barbie look the way she looks. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, as a mother, you have to continue to stay. I see how you have to continue to stay present in your daughter's life, even at age 4. Even at age 4. You know,
if you don't,
her daughter be climbing all over her, crying and carrying on. I'm like, why this girl won't give her mama a break? But at the same time, I see why you feel as though you need to give her that attention.
Yeah, because if not, gonna be looking for it elsewhere.
And that's what people don't realize. When you don't give your kids the attention, they're gonna go outside looking for it. Mm-hmm. Boys or girls, they're gonna go elsewhere looking for the attention. And it's hard when you're a working parent and you don't really have time. You go to work, you come home, you gotta cook for them, you gotta get them together for the next day, and do it all over again the next day. But at some point, you got to make the time. You even if it's 5 minutes, just to say how your day was, what was you doing? Because if you don't, somebody will move right in and do it for you and be like, "So, how's your day going? Oh, where's your parents? And why?" Like that little girl said in the movie, "I haven't seen my mother and father in weeks, in months."
Right.
Wow.
She live in the house with them.
Right.
Oh, they too busy working at the store. They don't like me. They don't know nothing about me. This is what the little girl said.
Mm-hmm. But let me not man bash. I'm not gonna totally man bash.
All
I
right,
will
y'all. I'm
say
gonna get
that.
done. Get done.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, Monica. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're
But we're
welcome.
gonna have another conversation about this.
Okay, cool. Cool.
All right, we'll talk to you. But I'm not gonna man bash because we get ready to end this segment. But we're gonna come back and have another conversation about this, y'all. It's gonna be a part 2 to this. But I'm not gonna completely man bash because I know men out there that are fathering their daughters. Both of us do. We know men out there that are fathering our daughters. Shout out to Alvin. Shout out to Alvin, our cousin Alvin, because he's a father present in his daughter's life.
Corey.
Shout out to Corey, my brother-in-law, because he is a present in his daughter's life, like really present. Like he sits down and have a conversation with her, like, what you do today? You know what I'm saying? So there are fathers out there that are fathering their sons and their daughters. What I'm saying is that this movie, as a parent, as a father, as a mother, you need to watch it and you need to recognize that you can't let the streets raise your children. You can't let some other child raise your children. You can't let some other child be your child's influence. You can't let a movie like this be your child's influence. And you need to watch it because it is a wake-up call. Shout out to all those parents out there that sat in our chat and they watched this.
And it will evoke a lot of feelings.
Yes, it will.
Especially when she takes a picture of her little cuckoo. They don't show you, but you know
you get the
what
gist
she's
of
doing
it. Yeah,
when
you
she
get the
does
gist
what
of
she
it.
does.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. It's a whole lot.
It is. It's a whole lot. So y'all guys, watch this movie and leave us some comments in the comment section. Let us know if you want us to do a part 2 and have another conversation about this movie because there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be questioned. There's a lot to talk about. But we're going to end this on a good note and we're going to just say walk in peace, love, sunshine, and happiness. And remember, it's Team McRae.
All damn day.
Talk to you soon.
Lady out.